The dispatcher, he's just literally catching those loads, right, from the load board. The owner will never be able to do that.
Our dispatchers work the same. They have like at least 2 or 3 screens.
Yeah, how much he likes to sleep. Is it a hot area where you can negotiate literally 500 or $1,000? Yeah, make sure that the trailer is clean, right?
All right.
Okay.
So don't lie about it.
If the load is heavy, you can try to add another $200 or $300.
Right now is the right moment because it's low and you will learn a lot.
Always create and build trustful relationships.
Hi everyone, my name is Elena from Trucking42 and today I am excited to be here with Alex, the head of our dispatching department.
Thank you, Elena. I am pleased and happy to be here with you today.
Today we are going to talk about one of the most critical topics in dispatching, which is the art of negotiating with brokers. So Alex, the first thing I want to ask you is a little bit about your background and the experience you got behind in dispatching.
I started my career around 5 years ago at the beginning of 2018, and I was developing here in this company all my skills related with the trucking industry. When I came, I think the company was around 2 years, founded 2 years before that. What I can say about myself, I was basically passing all of those steps, being a dispatcher, then I was even a sales. I was trying myself in sales here, in hiring drivers, and of course I got to being a team lead in 2 years. And now I'm the head of the dispatch department.
And the first thing I want to ask you today is basically, tell me a little bit about self-dispatching versus hiring a dispatch service. How can this affect the negotiation process with brokers?
I would probably say there are 3 main differences. That's the time, that's the efficiency, and that's the multitasking. And what about the time? The owner has to really be very proficient at managing on his time management, right? Because he has to always be able to drive, then stop, take care of his past loads, trying to book himself and try to find another load. Especially on this market, I would say this is really hard to do, and even if he will book himself, I would say that it would not be the same good paid load as a dispatcher would probably get him.
Why exactly it's going to be lower paid than a dispatcher would get him?
Yeah, because again, in the low market, the dispatcher, I would say that he's just literally catching those loads, right, from the load board. But the owner, first of all, he will not have all that time to stay there on the load board from starting the morning and until the end, because he will be driving, he will be unloading, he will be talking to the facility guys, and so on and so on. So yeah, I would say that's one of the main differences about the time. About being and the efficiency as well. I think we covered the efficiency with the first
yeah, you're right.
question, with the first point, with the time and efficiency. What I can say about the multitasking, the dispatcher has a lot of tools, and he can even open like 3 or 4 load boards. He can send an invoice and in the same time look and even call the broker, right, to try to book another load. So this is very important when you can do all of those things together and at the same time. The owner will never be able to do that, even if he has the laptop and the phone. It will be really hard for him to do the same thing as a dispatcher. If you'll take a look in the internet, you'll be able to see that the dispatcher has at least 2 screens. It's not by coincidence. He has to be able to combine a lot of load boards and a lot of multitasking, calling the broker at the same time while he's looking at another load on the load board. So this is what he's able to perform as a difference with the driver or owner operator who is trying to book himself.
That is right. Like I've seen those videos with dispatchers. I think our dispatchers work the same. They have like at least 2 or 3 screens doing the same thing.
Most of them, 3 of them, yeah.
So the next question I want to ask you is basically, what does a professional dispatcher really need to know in order to negotiate with a broker?
The basic and obvious, I would say, would be he has to know his driver very well. I mean, you cannot You cannot negotiate or book a load if you don't know your driver. I mean, basic, like maybe how much he likes to sleep. Is he going to eat after he delivers the load or only after he is loading with the next load? So those basic things he needs to know in order to be able to negotiate with the broker or on anything. Or I would say to know very well the driver's equipment. You cannot book a load if you don't know right from the beginning, not asking the driver while you're talking with the broker and negotiating with him if your driver has E-tracks in his trailer, or if he has, I don't know, or if his trailer has a wooden floor. So you basically have to know those things like the equipment and the driver. The second thing is the market areas. I mean, you have to know very well where is the truck right now. Is it a hot area where you can negotiate literally $500 or $1,000 extra, or you're in a really slow area where you have to catch the load, take another $100 or $200 and go ahead and keep the driver moving.
Okay, so basically the market and the driver would be the most important things. Is there anything else you want to add here, or that's enough?
Well, that would be the most obvious and again basic.
What type of arguments have you used as a dispatcher? Because I know now you're a team lead. So as a dispatcher, in order to win negotiations with brokers, like what would you recommend?
Right. The first thing I would recommend is, of course, be nice, be kind, smile. The broker can feel that.
Yeah.
The food grade trailer and clean food grade clean trailer. That's one of the most thing. Always you can always use it, but yeah, make sure that the trailer is clean. Right.
All right.
Okay.
So don't lie about it.
Right. And of course it is by the situation. So if the truck is empty, you can I was using that as an argument, like always, like I have a truck empty right now. That's a really important thing when the truck is empty. So I have a truck empty right now, maybe, I don't know, 50 to 100 miles away, so we can book it. Well, if the load is heavy, you can try to add another $200 or $300 on top of it if the load is really heavy. Or if you're going through mountains, everyone knows that it's a really hard time for the driver, even when the load is not really heavy. But when the load is heavy and you go through mountains, that's a really that's crazy for the driver. So if the load goes through those areas, you have to.
Actually, we just made a video about that, about a truck driver, Rohel Aguilera. I don't know if you heard about him. He got down on a mountain stretch in Colorado with a heavy load on a mountain, and his brakes just failed, so he got in a crash that ended up causing a disaster. So like, if you want to watch this video, it will be in the description here. So the next question I have is about the hotness of the load. I know you mentioned this before, and I want to find out basically how can the hotness of the load affect the negotiation with the broker?
Right, I would say it's directly affected because hotness of the load depends on, again, it's literally connected with the hotness of the market. Where is the truck right now? What area is he in? And if there are, let's say as an example, 10 loads posted and 100 trucks in that area, the broker will sell it just to cover the fuel. I mean, he will just sell it, and he's 100% convinced that he'll sell it in a minute and the phone will be blowing. So he'll just let's say, choose the carrier that has the best reputation and is the nearest there, and he'll just choose it and sell it for, I don't know, for
and accepts
there,
the minimum price. That's important too. Like the broker will sell it like that.
Exactly. Here I also would like to mention that a lot of people try to get involved in the trucking industry when the market is really high and they don't want to deal with any difficult situation with low market conditions. And now especially we're in the low market, right? And yeah, I would say even owners, dispatchers, nobody wants to get involved now. But for the people that want to become a good dispatcher, you have to have those skills. You have to take those difficult tasks on yourself. And only in that point you will be, first of all, in demand, always in demand. Everyone is looking for people that are well skilled, that are prepared, that have been through tough moments. everyone is looking for them. Even I am in a permanent search of dispatchers that have been in the industry, not for the past, I don't know, 1 year when the market was high, but for the past at least 3, 4, 5 years. And I know 100% that this guy went through all of those steps and he knows exactly how the waving of the market works, right? So for those people that want to learn, want to get in the market, want to get in the industry, I would say, then I would say that this is the best and the right moment to do it.
Okay, that's great. And that you mentioned about learning, by the way, I want to mention that we have a course, a dispatcher course that can help you to fully join the trucking world easily, really. So just check the link in the description and look for it, because this is the way to go if you want to join the market at the right moment. So as you mentioned, right now is the right moment because it's low and you will learn a lot. So that's true. And also it would be great if you subscribe to our channel, because this way you will find educational trucking content every week. And the last question for you here. So I want to find out basically, what would you say it's your secret to always getting good loads? This is the final question we have.
To always be on top and get good loads, right? I would say this is actual for every business. Always create and build trustful relationships. In this case with the brokers, but you have to always do that. You have to do those extra miles sometimes from your side as a dispatcher. You can do a lot of...
What do you mean by extra miles?
Yeah, I will say, of course. Well, about the extra miles, you can, I don't know, go on the DAT board and make a good rating for the broker, write a good review on that broker, exactly with the broker that you work with. Send that screenshot to him so he can see that you did something for him, right? And then try to get another load with him and do exactly the same best service you can. Do all of those updates. Make sure that you have a responsible driver with that broker if you are trying to build relationships with him. So in this case, you will always be on top. In this case, you will have, even on the market, on the bad market, that brokers will never leave you without a good load, or will at least do the same, those extra miles that you did for him.
I think I've seen this before in the videos about our dispatching service, and they were talking about how important it is for especially dispatchers to have a list of brokers they have good relationships with, because in case the market is bad and you can't find anything on the load board, you can go to those brokers and ask like, hey, do you have something? Because you usually have a rate that you agree on with them and something like that. Is that true?
That's absolutely right.
That's perfect. Okay. So I guess this is it then. Thank you very much, Alex, for being with us today.
It was a pleasure being here.
And also, yeah, everyone watching us, please like this video, because this way more people will be able to see how to properly negotiate with brokers.